So Philly, we mentioned, had a full lineup minus Kelly Oubre, but that's kind of a big deal in this day and age. And you got to see a little bit out of everybody that you want to see. That being said, I'm wondering now that you've seen them, Lou, all together the way we got to, are they just? Is Philly a middle of the pack team? What is the ceiling
right now? And I don't really think that's a bad thing.
Okay.
I think they still have room for an improvement, and they still got room to get better. So I don't think it's a bad thing to label them as a middle of the pack team, right? But when it comes to the Sixers, we still, when it comes to Maxey, Paul George, and Embiid, we still haven't seen a run of games where you can say, okay, this trio is real, and they're going to put some real pressure on the Eastern Conference, and they're going to make a title run. Until they put one of those together, they look like a better basketball team than they were last year by leaps and bounds. They look tremendous, and I like how they're built, and they're competing, right? But if you look at the record, and if you look at everything that they've done with all the talent they have, that's a 50-50 team. That's a 500 basketball team, right? So if you're asking me, have I seen anything from the Sixers that jumps out at me to say they're a 1, they're a 2, they're a perennial team in the Eastern Conference that teams are going to have to deal with, we haven't seen that consistency. So for that reason, I still feel like they're a middle-of-the-pack team. But with them being in the middle of the pack, that leaves a lot of room for them to get better and better, and I think they will.
Yeah, and think about, like, they are a middle-of-the-pack team right now, but like Lou said, I think there's room to grow here. When you look at Joel Embiid, I don't think he's going to be that dominant MVP player that he once was, but I think he's going to continue to get healthy and be better than he was last night, especially just the way he moves. And he's averaging 25 minutes a game, 18, 6, and 3. That's not the Joel Embiid that we're accustomed to. Same with Paul George, and same with Jared McCain. He still hasn't got his legs back. Now they struck gold with VJ Edgecombe. Tyrese Maxey is a bad dude. So they have this backcourt now, and Jared McCain, again, I think he's going to get back to where he was last year, where he was running away with Rookie of the Year before his injuries. And it all depends on how good and healthy can Paul George and Joel Embiid be. But I do think there's room to grow here and for them to get better.
And you know what? In another little thing, they're in 7th place right now. They can't be mad at us for saying they want to be in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, they are.
For them to get to a 4 and a 5, that'll be an accomplishment right now for this team. But they have one big caveat that's always been an issue for the 76ers. Staying healthy. If they can continue to keep everybody on the floor, I think they improve this by 2 or 3 spots in the East for sure. Yeah. If they can keep everybody in uniform.
Boogie, talk to me about Joel Embiid. Obviously, that name will always carry a certain amount of gravitas, but we're all getting older. We know his injury situation and what we look at when we talk about Joel Embiid. Like, how do we view him now as fans of this game? I know he's a former MVP, but who is he now?
I think he's still Joel Embiid. He's just unhealthy, and that's unfortunate. I've been, on record saying that I do feel he needs to drop more weight. I think that's something that's going to continue to, keep him in this place of unhealthiness. The game isn't, built to be, this big, brolic player anymore. So I think him dropping weight will help his health situations tremendously. So I still think he has a lot of game left. Obviously, I think he's at the point in his career where he may have to reinvent himself. He may not be that 30-point-per-game scorer no more. But what's stopping him from being a 20-10 guy? You know what I mean? So I think he still has a lot of life left in this game. It's just about figuring out who he wants to be moving forward. He can still contribute to winning. He can still help this Sixers team move forward, make the playoffs, and, retire, whatever the case may be when that time comes for him. But I still see a lot of life left in his career. It's just depending on how he wants to go about it.
Yeah, and if 18 points is your career low,
right,
like
that's his career.
People getting paid off 18. So
I think 18 is my career high. So listen, if
I think I ever average 18.
Yeah, if 18 is your career low, you got a lot of places. But I agree with what Boogie is saying. I agree with what Boogie is saying. He just doesn't look like himself. He doesn't look like he doesn't look like the Joel Embiid we're accustomed to seeing. Now, can he play better? Can he be more efficient? Absolutely. But 18 points a game being his career low, you're still getting some good production out of your starting center at that position and at those averages. But we've seen him be so dominant. That's why we're still critical of where he is. But it's obvious to see that he's still not himself and he's still not as healthy as that knee is allowing him to be.
Is it better to be great once, but then you always are going downhill, or to just always have been average?
Well, I think that. Oh, well, that's a fair question, but I just think it's inevitable that, like, the Chris Pauls, the Russ, the Joel, it's hard to sustain that level of greatness. Yes. Even LeBron James right now, like, think about it, like, it's just different. So I think when you're that good and you've had that much success, And now in your current state, I think you still just play him. You take whatever he can get from you. You still have to scout, like we just talked about LeBron.
That's true.
You still have to scout him. You still have to
Absolutely.
double team him if he's one-on-one on the block. Like you still have to respect Joel Embiid 1,000%. So I hate when I see, are they better without him? Or like, should they just sit him down? It's like, stop. No, they are not better without him. And what, they're better with Andre Drummond? Like, no disrespect to him. Like, they're not. Like, this is Joel Embiid.
Can I defend the question, though? Can I defend the question? When you were just watching games night after night after night, and there's a big star that's not out, I mean, you could look at the Grizzlies for a second, and they just seem to be better without, then you're going to say, are they better without the superstar?
Because people don't understand the small nuances of what goes into that. You got a guy that's filling in that's going to have extended minutes, so you're seeing a motivated version of him. You're seeing a motivated version of his teammates because they want to also prove that we can withstand without him in it. So sometimes you kind of see a false security of a team that's usually not there, because when I got Joel in the lineup, I can relax a little bit.
Yeah.
Big fella with us tonight.
Fair.
But when he's out of the lineup, we got to be tight. We got to be sharp. We can't afford it because we got 18 career low points on the bench right now when that can turn into 40 at any given moment. So you see the best versions of guys when your star players go out. So sometimes it can be fool's gold and sometimes it can be legitimate as well.
Yeah, and just by simply being on the floor, other guys are getting guarded differently.
That's
so
fair.
it's just the impact he has. Just being out there helps.
Devil's advocate over here sitting on the end.